Am I the asshole? For calling my friend's GF creepy because she won't stop bringing up my race? I have a group of friends all 24, 26, 8 in total, that includes a guy. I'll call him Nick. Nick has a girlfriend, I'll call her Josie, and they've been dating 8-9 months. Nick introduced Josie to the group about 6 months ago. Both Josie and I are mixed race, the rest of the group is white. Ever since we met Josie, she's made really out-of-pocket comments too about me concerning racially related things. Things like asking me why all my friends are white, questions about my mother's African background, comments about how I do my hair, like how I shouldn't straighten it. I always tried to steer the conversation away from these topics and laugh it all off, but she brings it up so often. Nick says she's just trying to find a foothold in the friend group, but I don't see why she can't try to get to know me or anyone in the group as people rather than just bringing up this irrelevant thing we have in common. I also pointed out to Nick that Josie and I may both be half African but not the same country in Africa. It's wildly different cultures. Even if I was raised in an African culture, which I wasn't, it wouldn't be one similar to hers, so really it's grasping at straws. And that's to say nothing of the fact that it makes me uncomfortable. Anyway, over the weekend we all had a boat day and we were having lunch. We were talking about school and I mentioned that one of the schools I went to had predominantly Asian students. Josie asked if there were any black students in my year and I said yes, but I didn't know them very well. She then asked if the reason I wasn't friends with them is because they thought I wasn't black enough. I don't know if it was that comment or the countless ones before it, but I just felt so angry that she would once again take a conversation that everyone was participating in and make it into a race thing for no reason. I said, "No Josie, that's not why we weren't friends. Frankly, the only person I've ever met who is obsessed with my racial identity is you. And just so you know, it's really creepy." Josie tried to stutter an apology, but I said the only apology I was interested in was it not being brought up again, and my BF jumped in and changed the topic. Nick later took me aside and said I'd really upset Josie and she was just trying to bond with me. He said she has trauma. He didn't got into detail about her race, and by humiliating her I'd made her really uncomfortable. I told him that wasn't my problem and I'm not going to be Josie's emotional support colored friend, and if he thought I should be, then I wasn't sure what that said about how he views me. Nick is now mad at me for insinuating he's racist and 2 friends have taken his side. I don't think I was wrong for wanting Josie to respect me like everyone else, but evidently people think what I said was harsh. Was it? I am also biracial, half black. Why is Josie so obsessed with you not hanging out with more black people, when she herself has joined a mostly white social group and is dating a white person as well? It sounds like she is projecting her insecurities. Date and hang out with whomever you want. Not the asshole. She keeps subtly implying you're whitewashed. I would be beyond annoyed. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I don't see what else you could have done. Josie badgers you about your race, you call her out, and lo and behold, some of your friends' unexamined white racism rears its head and they decide that you just needed to take care of the feelings of the only other mixed-race person in the group, and that you shouldn't rock the boat by pointing out how weird it all is. It's a mess, but it's not of your making. Did you ever have a conversation with her before you snapped? This is the most European way of dealing with race stuff I've ever seen, Lamau. Nata, but also I hope you actually made it clear you weren't interested in this stuff instead of going ha ha yeah, and changing the subject. Some people wouldn't get hints if they were written on a billboard. She seems to probably be that type. And if not, then to suddenly blow up on her like that in front of everyone else on a day out wasn't very cool to do. Kinda understandable, I guess, but still. You're the asshole. You never explicitly told her you don't like discussing your race, just Nick. I know so many minorities who bond over racial convos. It doesn't have to be negative, it could just be like, oh, you're late, go too? This is how my culture makes it. So from her puff she's had casual, if awkward, convos with you as a new friend of her BFS and you just snapped on her. Learn to communicate clearly before you get to your last straw. You're the asshole not because you don't want to bond of your race like she does, but because the first time you let her know it bothers you is to call her a creep. Not the asshole. Josie Grossi needs to mind her own. He said she has trauma. He didn't got into detail about her race. Then she needs counseling because to me, it sounds like she's doing some sort of weird verbal self-harm. Seems like she's first strike othering herself so no one can hurt her by doing it later. I know I'm going against the popular verdict, but you're the asshole. Seems like Josie felt alone and just wanted to bond with you because you had something in common. You could have told her that you are not comfortable in bringing up race. But you called her creepy, which is extreme. A lot of black folks are reading this and know exactly what's up. Hopefully one day you'll see too. You're the asshole. If race is so irrelevant, why are her attempts to engage on it so objectionable? You're the asshole. You should have pulled her aside from the start and told her you didn't like talking about it. She was clearly trying to relate to you in things she faced, also being mixed. Most PUC take a lot of pride in their race and talk about it with other people like them, so for you to call her out and make her feel bad about it in the group was messed up, and all these non-black people in the comments telling you you're not wrong have never been through it, so they don't know. You should have just sat her down to see where she was coming from, cause those conversations are normal for PUC. Big, you're the asshole. There's layers to this and everything points at you being the asshole here. Seems you got some issues with your black side. Get the therapy you need. Someone trying to identify with you based on shared commonalities is human. Seems you wanna be accepted more for your white side by the fact that you don't associate with anything outside of white when you obviously have had opportunities to befriend others. Your friend circle is more open to others than you are. They actually have more black friends than you. Lol. I agree with his girlfriend that maybe nobody wanted to be your friend, but not because you wasn't black enough. It was because you was a jerk. Yes. You were weird and rude, and honestly it sounds like you have issues of your own. Perhaps you are not proud of your African, but yeah. I would call you the A. Josie is a nah for bringing up non-white business in front of your mostly white friend group. But, based on what you said, it sounds like you could use a friend who has some identity consciousness. I assure you, when some shit actually hits the fan about your having African heritage, which it inevitably will, you'll have a more likely ally and confidant in Josie. Not your boyfriend and not the rest of y'all's friends. It seems that you talked to Nick about it. Are you sure that he told Josie about you being uncomfortable with the situation? It's possible that she is bad at social cues, and didn't understand your reaction. So if Nick never told her that you are uncomfortable, which is possible, then your reaction in the last conversation was out of the blue for her. I would say nah, just some misunderstandings all around. Not the asshole. You said how you felt. If bringing up race is uncomfortable for you, then she needs to respect that, man. Yes, in a perfect world you could have said it with just the two of you, but things don't just happen like that. You never called Nick racist. He's trying to find a way to make you look bad. He cares about you making Josie uncomfortable, but not Josie making you uncomfortable to the point you snapped. Man's blinded by love, tbh. It looks like a common occurrence on this sub that people come with stories how they accumulate resentment to someone then blow up in an ugly way one day. Are you justified to feel uncomfortable because of Josie's comments? Yes. Are you justified to blow up? No, she didn't do anything unusual, she just continued to do what she always did, bring up topic that is annoying to you. You should have reacted much earlier, but also you should have reacted with the cool head. You're the asshole. You weren't wrong, but you were an asshole. You could have addressed it with her in private instead of humiliating her. Sounds like she's just awkward. You owned her in front of friends and they probably think you're an asshole even if you're not wrong.